and I am fortunate enough to serve as the mayor of Monmouth. This afternoon, we are introducing 3 candidates that we have brought to town to apply for the job of the city manager. The city manager is the CEO of our city, working with our staff and volunteers to bring services to our residents. This is an opportunity to meet with Peter Boyce. Peter comes to us from Oregon City, and he most recently served in Woodland, Washington, where he actually got to establish the office of city administrator and serve in the position starting in 2016. During his 25-year career in city and county government, Peter's other positions included assistant and city administrator in Gladstone from 2008 to 2015, and a wide variety of positions in Montana, including running Missoula's administration of its parking commission, which I'm guessing is one of the more politically delicate jobs in all of government. Pete's degree from Montana Tech in engineering, in technology and business development, and he's been in Oregon since 2008. So, Peter, thank you for joining us this afternoon on a beautiful day to be here on the campus of Western Oregon University. You're great partners, and we really appreciate them having us here. So, just hope to have a conversation with you, let folks get to know you a little bit more. And I will start off. I read your professional biography here.
Sure.
What else do we need to know about your background?
Oh, well, I'm married. I have 2 daughters. One's a freshman in college at George Fox University, studying nursing. My other daughter is a freshman in high school, Oregon City High School. And my wife's a registered nurse.
So, going to run in the family there.
I think so.
Wow.
So, I'm from a small town in Montana, Anaconda, Montana. Fun fact, I used to be in a band in high school and college, and every year now, everyone comes back to Montana, and we get together and play somewhere, for free. Yeah.
Anaconda from the mines, right? Is that? Or
so
is
Butte, Montana had the copper mine, and Anaconda had the copper smelter.
Oh, the smelter.
Yeah. So.
I went to college in Tacoma, Washington, which is also located near a copper smelter back in the day. So yes.
Yes. So
but,
it's I've had a long career. I love the fact that I've been a department director. I've been an elected official.
Oh, yeah.
In the small city county of Anaconda, Deer Lodge. I was elected chief executive. It's kind of like a strong mayor position. And and then been administrative heads of different organizations, county and city.
Awesome experience. So what do you know about the history and the culture of Monmouth?
Well, I know, where we're sitting right now, the university is incredible. I love the size of the town, 11,000 to 12,000 folks. Yep. It's, reminds me of my upbringing in a small city. But there's a lot of interesting history from it being a dry city for so long, and it's interesting to see wineries popping up.
Right.
And I think I saw a tap house on the main drive.
Yes, you did.
That's very interesting. So there's a lot of positive vibes to the city, and the more research I did on Monmouth, the more I really like the city. I've been through a couple of interviews today and found out even more information that made me, like the city even more.
Okay.
But the historic downtown, some of the historic homes, the university. What's not to like?
Right, exactly. And so why do you see yourself here?
Well, it feels like a fit for me. I know the city needs to see if I'm a fit for it. But, it's easy to feel at home here. It's the people I've met, I got here yesterday and walked around a little bit, tried to look at the parks and some businesses. And, everyone's so friendly. It has a youthful exuberance about it, which is very attractive. And my daughter, the freshman in high school, joined the cheerleading team.
Oh, yes.
And they started out with a cheerleader camp
We have a
that
camp
was
here in
here,
the
right
center.
here. She came here, so she got to stay in the dorms for a week.
Yeah.
And yeah, she wants to come here when she's through. It was a pretty big impression on her. So I thought, hey, this is pretty
Good
nice.
fit, right?
Right.
That I think we have a lot of people who come here for various reasons, because of the university, obviously,
Oh,
and
sure.
end up staying for
Yeah.
other reasons.
Yeah, I met a couple of people that told me that's very safe space.
Well, our city
Yes.
reporter who came
She
to college
was
here
one.
and never left, right? So yeah, she's one of them.
Right, yeah.
So you mentioned you've lived in small towns, even smaller than this. So
Sure.
what are some of the pluses and what are some of the drawbacks of small town living?
Well, I think there are more pluses than drawbacks. And the pluses, well, one plus and maybe one negative is everybody knows everybody.
Yes, they do.
Which is a great thing and sometimes not a great thing, but for the most part, it's wonderful to be able to meet folks, develop relationships. You can't do that in a city of 50,000. You can hit small blocks, but I also like the sense of community. Usually the small towns rally around the schools, rally around the kids, parks. It's really a quality of life issue for me. Yeah. And I would much rather be in a small town than a large metropolis. It just feels better. Some of the downsides are maybe you don't have some of the resources to do everything you want in local government. There
Or
are
schools or
right.
yes.
Because there's so many good ideas out there. A lot of folks have good ideas. It's just, can we find a way to fund it, implement it, make it successful and sustainable?
Yeah.
So that's one of the drawbacks. But having the people and the relationships, that's the plus, and that's what makes it feel good. And there's always, the communities I've lived in, they've always had this sense of pride about them. That can-do attitude is infectious.
It is, right? And
Yeah.
like you said, because we've all sort of gotten by
Right.
And improvised and been creative,
Right.
it does hopefully take on a life of its own in a city that's thriving. It could easily be a negative with people feeling deprived or feeling like their city's not offering things. So
Right, but it because of limited resources, it forces people to work together to get to know each other, and like you say, come up with those creative ways to make things happen.
So I don't know if you've been involved in service clubs and things. Have you done some of that in your time in different communities?
Yeah, I was the president of the Rotary Club in Gladstone.
Oh yeah.
And those Rotary presidents do a lot of work, more than I thought before I took the job.
Yeah, they did not tell you that in the orientation.
No,
Right?
it's like, it's going to be
Oh,
fun.
yes. Yeah.
We're going to be here to help. And they were there to help, but still, it's but
What do you tell people about why they should join a Rotary or Lions Club or service organization?
well, they do so many good things. In Woodland, Washington, where I just was, our Rotary Club actually took on trying to fund a sports complex.
Oh, wow.
They're about 10 years into it. They've done all the dirt work. They have one field in, a bunch of accessory buildings and parking, and there's so many good things these clubs do for the community. And I know membership is faltering nationally a little bit in some of those groups, but if you really want to make a difference, it's a great way to go.
Oh, great. Monmouth has 8 departments, and several of them are supported by really amazing volunteers on our boards and commissions.
Yeah.
And a couple of them actually have friends organizations who do fundraising and provide additional support
Right.
for those departments. So I'm going to mention each of our departments, and I just want to hear a word or phrase that comes to your mind. Okay?
Okay.
Library.
Library is to me, usually the heart of a community. It's not just books anymore. It's a lot of programs. It's
Seed
it's
lending. We have a fabulous seed lending program.
incredible. Yeah, so when you're looking for information, it's a great place to go. I found librarians to be very, very knowledgeable and can steer you in a lot of good directions. So, yeah.
Great. Public Works.
Well, it's to me, it's kind of like the spine of the community. I mean, if you don't have roads, water, sewer, stormwater, electricity in this case, nothing can happen. So it's the main building block the city is built on.
Right, it's that one function we all generally provide.
Right.
Public Works, even in the smallest of cities.
Right.
Finance and administration.
It's usually something people don't like to look at, but is necessary to keep all of those moving parts going. I really enjoy city management, and finance is one of my favorite spots of city municipal work. And it's, when you get into budgeting, you get into finance policy, it's critical to delivering services long term. And you can't just look year to year, you need to project out.
It is, right? When you talk about sustainability and people think about climate and environment, I think about finances, right?
Yeah.
That's you've got to have those plans.
And it's great to get a project going, but if you can't keep it going.
Right? No, but sure.
Right.
I also say that because I work in finance in the school district, and my colleagues always talk about the fun, right? This is fun, and all the fun and I said, well, finance is where fun goes to die.
It can, but I've got to say I find it interesting. I really do.
Yeah.
I guess it's good some people do.
Right. They need us. They definitely need us.
If you want the quality of life, you need the backing.
Yeah. And also, what about our building department?
Yeah. Well, that's where the developers come to make things happen and make the community grow and keep it vibrant. And it's critical. A lot of times it creates a first impression for the city and the city government. So if you have a good system that's set up, that's easy to follow.
Right,
it's a relative term.
We know they're the developer's interpretation of easy to follow.
Right. But it can get complex, but as long as there's someone there to guide people through it. In Woodland, we turned around our community development department. We had a number of folks who would come to council meetings saying the city's not business friendly, takes too long to get through the permitting process. We turned that around. We got a new community development director in place. We had a mayor who set the tone that says, you never say no, you just say, can we tweak this a little bit? We walk people through the entire process. We updated software so they could do a lot online.
Yep.
And it really turned it around. And
that's great.
a number of folks started showing up and saying, hey, we've noticed, thank you.
Well, and that's true, and we also have our community, and they do our economic development as well here.
Right.
So, what do you think about that? What do you have to say about that?
Well, economic development is essential for the sustainability of the city. You want to retain the businesses that are here, of course, but you also need some new blood to come in to keep things vital. And again, it's putting the best face on the city. It can really affect the lives of the citizens in a very positive way. So it's critical. And then when we go back to funding the city, more commercial business in town is good for the tax base.
Power and light. You mentioned Public Works, but we also have our power and light utility.
Well, you got to keep the lights on. I don't have experience with power and light. There aren't a lot of jurisdictions that do this.
Right?
So,
we're pretty unique.
Again, it's showing Monmouth is creative in how you approach things. And I did a city tour today with one of your employees, and you know, it seems like it's working.
Yeah.
It seems like you're keeping rates low. Maintenance is ongoing, so you're reducing power outages, and yeah, it's positive.
Well, and I do have to say that when we have an ice storm or something and our neighbors around us with Pacific Power or Consumer Power find themselves in the dark, our
Your lights
teams
are on.
are really out there, and yeah, it's amazing. And same with our internet utility, right? We're so fortunate to have the same thing.
Right.
And last, our senior and community center.
You have to love senior centers. I mean, they really provide a sense of community for a large number of people. And I've heard here in Monmouth, you're not only attracting people from Monmouth, but the surrounding area. So you've got a program that's really a regional attraction. And again, it's about quality of life, and it's a big deal.
Well, and especially our current director, it is not just about seniors, right?
Right.
She has done some amazing work to make sure that we are serving all ages and intergenerational. Monmouth is striving to be designated an AARP age-friendly city.
Oh, wonderful.
And we've started on that work. They actually have held their conference here at the university.
Oh, great.
So that is something that is really important to us. Again, you want people to come, be here, love it here, live here,
Right.
and be able to age and grow here with those
Right.
supports.
And that's one of the things that's attracted me to Monmouth, because you know, the forward thinking, the long-term planning you're doing, those are essential for having a prosperous community. And it's, you know, I've looked at other jurisdictions that are not that way. So this is, you know, I'm trying to be selective about where I apply for employment, and that's one of the biggest things that caught my eye.
Thank you. And again, because we are here on the campus of Western Oregon University, and we are a college town.
Yeah.
So what do you see as some of the value of that?
Well, you know, the college brings in research dollars. There are always programs on campus. I don't know a lot about this campus, but that do community outreach. I know when I was in college, you know, some of our business programs reached out to real businesses in the community and came up with business plans and helped with financing and did a whole host of things that were great for the students, but also helped the community.
Yeah.
Plus, I think it really brings a youthful vibrance to the community. It's good to have young people out and about and enjoying the downtown and all, you know, the parks and all the amenities.
And Western is actually striving to become an Hispanic serving institution, which is a federal designation regarding the population of their students.
Great.
So it's really important for us in Monmouth to make sure that we are supporting that as well, making those students feel safe and welcome here. So
Right.
it's a
Wonderful.
huge thing for us. So you came from Montana to Clackamas County.
Well, actually,
A little bit
I
in
got
between.
there, I actually went to Minnesota first.
Oh, okay.
My wife, I said, was a registered nurse. She used to work at the Mayo
Oh,
Clinic.
wow.
So I got married when I was in the chief executive job in Anaconda, and then we moved out there.
Yeah.
I actually was a county administrator out there in Wabasha County.
Okay.
That's the home of the Grumpy Old Men movies.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
And
yeah,
that
it's
was pretty indicative of the population there, or no?
a segment of the population. But yeah, it was a great experience. And then I got back to Missoula. Unfortunately, my in-laws both got diagnosed with cancer at the same time.
Wow.
That's what got us back to Missoula for a year, and then out to Oregon in Gladstone.
Yeah, so that a little bit of a culture shock though, right, in the
Yeah.
metro area
But
there, so.
I've got to say we're enjoying the Oregon climate a lot more than Montana and Minnesota.
I bet.
Yeah.
So in your interview with council previously, we had a chance to visit with you previously, you described how you, speaking of curmudgeons, I think, how you worked to turn around someone with a negative attitude about the city's budget. I think it was a CPA you mentioned. And so why is it important to engage those naysayers?
Well, there are a lot of good ideas out there, and sometimes when you encounter a naysayer, actually it was in Gladstone, sometimes they have a point, and there are some, you shouldn't just discount someone's opinion because they don't fully agree with you.
Yeah.
And, in this case, I thought the person just didn't know all the facts. He was definitely intelligent, he just needed access, so put him on the budget committee. And yeah, he ended up being one of the city's most outspoken people supporting, the city and the budget and what we were doing. And we actually ended up putting him on other committees as time went on.
Yep.
So,
Right.
yeah, so you always need to listen to people and talk to them. He did have some good points and some changes that we incorporated. But we built some trust with him just by communicating, and that's very important.
Well, that's wonderful. That is exactly what we want to do, right? At
Yeah.
all times,
Right.
it can be a challenge, but I agree. I always say I need to hear from
Right.
people who don't either understand. I always say my job in finance is explaining it, explaining stuff, right? How 90% of my job is making the numbers, but the most important part of my job is making sure people understand that. So,
Right.
yeah.
Well, and I really believe if you get more eyes on a project, you end up with a better project.
Yeah.
And not everyone's going to come to the same mindset that this is a good project, but if they understand that they've been heard, and maybe as might be appropriate, some of their ideas were incorporated. I think that's important.
Yeah. So Monmouth is going through a rebranding process. So what would you say would be a great brand for Monmouth?
Well, I think you should look at the forward thinking of the community and try to incorporate that somehow. I think the university is a great selling point also. But things like, the trolley, the park system, the senior center is incredible. Boy, there's so many ways to go. It's hard to whittle it down a little bit, but my initial look at Monmouth, it feels good to be here. To me, you need to sell the quality of life because it's hot here and it should be celebrated.
Oh, thank you. So one last question for me. What is a hidden skill or talent not related to your work that you would bring to us?
A work-related skill?
Not work
Okay.
related.
Well, I can play the drums. I'm not great, but I can keep a beat.
Okay.
All
All
So
right.
if you ever have need for a drummer, give me a call.
Well, we have a house band in Monmouth, and so
I've
they
heard about
don't
them.
have drums.
Oh, they don't have drums.
They
Oh my
don't.
gosh.
They're string band. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, the Tuesday string band. So.
Need a little percussion in there.
Right, you should. We can hook you up, people. We can hook you up. All right, we don't have very much longer left. About 5 minutes, I guess. So, what else do you want people to know about you?
Well, I've been in local government for almost 25 years here, and I've done almost everything there is to do in local government. But you say that, and then something new comes along.
Oh yes, always.
But I've been a department director, an elected official, administrative head of cities and counties. I know how to do regional planning with councils of governments, and I've worked with Metro. Back in Montana, I actually had to, because of the copper smelter, there's a large Superfund site there.
Oh wow.
So I had to work with ARCO, who was the responsible party in the EPA, negotiating contracts and documents,
Wow.
and they actually funded the city county's community development program because of some of the restrictions that had to be put in place.
Yeah.
So I've got a vast array of experience. I think the folks I work with say I tend to be calm and fair-minded, listen to both sides before I make a decision, and I'm accessible. I return every phone call, every email. I want to get out and meet people if I'm lucky enough to be the city administrator. city manager here. I'm going to be out in the community meeting folks and trying to forge some meaningful relationships.
Well, that's wonderful, and we do have that opportunity, right? And our
Yes.
great partnerships. Tomorrow, you're actually going to meet a group that has won awards, both from the League of Oregon Cities and our Council of Governments, our all hands group, and so you'll be meeting some of those folks. But to me, as we've talked about, limited resources, constraints that we each have, and that opportunity to pull on each other's strengths, to support each other in rough times is so critical. And I think we've started to really get the secret sauce of that here. So I love that is important to you, and that you will get an opportunity to meet those folks tomorrow.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Should be great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's small town, lots of hats, right? So everybody's interconnected.
Right.
somehow.
Yeah. That's how you make it go.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything else?
I don't think so. I'm just really excited about the opportunity. The process has been great so far. I've met a lot of can-do people with the city, and I look forward to meeting the community group and being in the same room with city council.
Yes, yeah,
That's
we've only
exciting.
had Zoom so far.
Right.
All right, so tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, we'll meet you back over in City Hall, and our new City Hall,
Right,
right?
it's beautiful.
We're only even having the ribbon cut this coming week, but 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, have a chance to meet the candidates, have some light refreshments, and get to know a little bit more about what might be a good fit, somebody who will be part of our community. That's extremely important to us, and keep Monmouth moving forward. So thanks so much, Peter, for an end of a long day, coming in here and sitting down and
It's
talking
been
to
fun.
me.
It's been fun. I appreciate the opportunity.
Good.
Yeah.
Hope you have a great evening. We'll see you in the morning.
All right, great.